All right, and we are back for another podcast. So, um, welcome to my new setting here. It is my family in the background set of my kitchen, and it's just me on the couch. No big deal. So, um, what I want to chat about today is just like one kind of quick thing that can help alleviate some stress and anxiety in your dog, and a dog, whatever it may be. So the really what it boils down to is what causes it. Like, why are dogs so stressed out? Why are dogs so anxious? Because I get calls every day, DMs, messages all the time about anxiety this, anxiety that, anxiety this, anxiety that. So when I start working with a client, some of the things we start talking about, pretty much from the get go, is structure, rules, leadership, and guidance. These are all the things that we need, or the dog needs, to live a low stress life. I'm not going to say a non stress life because life is stressful for humans, life is stressful for dogs. Things happen. You can't avoid stress whatsoever. So, um, when I say lack of structure, people don't really understand what that means. But really, what it comes down to is like predictability, and some sort of schedule or routine. So dogs thrive in structure. If humans were not involved with dogs, they would be in their own packs and they would pretty much hunt at this time, they would eat at this time, they would sleep at this time, they would play at this time, blah, 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 blah. They would essentially have their day structured out, doing dog things. But they don't, that's not how they live. They live in a human world. So structure is setting up some sort of routine. All right. In the morning, the humans wake up and they let me out immediately, and I go outside, go to the bathroom. I come back in, I eat, and then they put me back in my crate, and I sleep in my crate until I get home at whatever time, and then we do training, we do this, we do that, whatever the structure is. It doesn't have to be that structured, to be honest, but having some sort of structure and routine is going to be ideal for your dog. Okay. And then rules. So I'm going to keep this one kind of short. We're just going to talk about these first two things. Structure, but mainly I want to talk about is the rules. Um, I don't get phone calls, and I don't know of any dog trainer that gets phone calls for having too many rules for their dog. Okay. I mean, I can't. I guess I can't say that because I do get calls for dogs that basically live in their crate, and that's the rule. Like, you have to live in your crate because you're a psychopath or whatever it may be. But some of there's kind of three big rules that I immediately tell people. Okay, there's three things that we need to work on first and foremost, and it has to deal with changing the person a little bit. Nothing crazy, but I do get a lot of pushback on this first one, and that is stop giving your dog unearned affection. Meaning, stop just petting your dog for no reason. Now, I already know. Oh, but I love my dog. It's great. I know. I love my dogs too. But if we keep petting our dogs over and over and over again, they're going to just always expect to be touched and loved on and always expect to be pet. And that's how you create a pushy or a bratty dog, which leads to anxiety, which leads to separation anxiety because they're always around you. Okay. Now, you're not going to live a completely affectionless life because yes, you're still going to love on your dog, but you're not just going to always be touching your dog. That's the main thing. We kind of want to give them things to do. Hey, Tater, sit. Yes, good boy. And then he gets pet and loved on. Like something so simple, or place, and that can even be on the couch, and then lay down, and then you can love on him and pet on him and hang out, whatever. But just doing that too much, because I'll even see this like your dog's being kind of bratty, blah 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 blah. This is what we do. And as I'm sitting there talking to the owner, they're just petting and loving on their dog, and it's like stop doing it. That's why they're pushy and bratty. So rule number one: stop giving your dog so much attention. Limit the amount of attention you give them, and see how they change. Okay. Remember, what you pet is what you get. So I also see this way too often is the dog starts lunging and barking at the end of the leash, you reel them in or whatever, and then you grab them and you hold them and it's okay, Fido. Don't worry about them, it's okay. Guess what you just did? You rewarded that behavior. Okay. The soothing voice, the petting and loving, that is a reward. And by rewarding, it means the dog's going to keep doing that behavior. So they're going to keep barking and lunging because it led to affection. It led to good stuff. So they're going to keep doing it. Same when a dog is scared and nervous. To an extent, you want to ignore it or something, but if they're being all scared or anxious, either ignore them or give them something else to do. Okay. Until they stop doing it, then you love them. Okay. Because when your dog is just like thunder, for example, that's a big one. A lot of dogs are scared of it and they panic and they run and they go hide and you're like, oh, it's okay, Fido, under the bed, like reaching for him, petting him, loving, trying to calm him down and soothe him. Dogs don't. Dogs don't feel that way. Okay, so stop doing it. Unless they're doing something you absolutely love, don't pet them. Okay, it's pretty harsh, but again, I don't deal with the lovey-dovey dogs. I deal with your harder dogs, your highly anxious dogs. Um, I deal with dogs that are borderline close to being euthanized. Okay, like last line of defense type of thing to keep these dogs alive, or else they're going to the shelter. And a lot of times these dogs are so anxious, so reactive. What's going to happen at the shelter, I already know, is euthanasia. They're not going to foster the dog. They're not going to try to adopt the dog out, and that leaves only one option in the shelter. Even your no-kill shelters don't want to believe that. No-kill shelters take the dog that's unadoptable and send them to a kill shelter to go through the same process to be euthanized. So they might not do the euthanizing there; they just pawn it off on somebody else. Rule number two is a bed and furniture rule. Stop letting your dogs on the furniture whenever they want. The key part is when they want. They walk around like they own the house. They get on the couch, they get in your space, and it's like, no, no, Fido, no, Tater, that's my spot. My dog is almost 5 months old and he's never been on my couch. I'm not gonna allow it. He's gonna be like a 70-pound dog, and he's just not gonna be allowed. Maybe one day I'll let him jump up here with me, but right now I don't even want him to do that behavior. I don't want him on my couch, okay? Because you get the fur on the couch and then you're full of hair all the time. But just like what you put in their mind is they could do whatever they want. They like that's their couch, not my couch. It's the dog's couch type of thing. Um, and it's not that you'll never be able to let them back on the couch, but if they're showing bad behaviors, crappy behaviors, they're bratty, they're entitled, they're pushy, they're dealing with separation anxiety, any sort of aggression, fearfulness, all that stuff. We have to implement this rule. We have to take options away from them. No more, no more couch, no more bed. I really dislike any dog sleeping in beds with humans. It again puts the wrong thing in the dog's brain or in the dog's mind. But there are people that just have to have it, and I'll fight tooth and nail against them. But it's not that they never can do it, but until they're showing the right behaviors and acting the way we want, that is when maybe they can start being invited up on the couch, invited up in the bed, right? And then, kind of the last rule that I really harp on is personal space. I get it with my dogs now, my training dogs now, my maintenance dogs, they still do it. It's just for no reason, they follow you around the house. For no reason, they come and lay between your legs and the couch, or they jump up on the couch and they are um, like all over you in your face, across your lap, whatever it may be. They're just in your personal space. Stop. Again, that right there can be the cause of the anxiety. Like they just feel like they always have to be next to you, always with you. You need to know where you're doing. Where are you going? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? No, it's no. Stop doing that. Stop being all over me and go lay on your spot. Go in your crate. Go on your dog bed, wherever it may be. Teach them how to do that and see how things change when you start putting distance between you and your dog. Again, it doesn't have to be forever, but stop letting them in your personal space. Again, once the brattiness, the entitledness, the fearfulness, the aggression, the um, anxiety really subsides, that's when we can start giving more freedom. Now it's okay. You can come up here. Come on, let them up on the couch, or come sit next to me, or jump up in the bed, watch a movie with me. Once the bad behaviors are pretty much gone, that's when it's okay to start allowing some of this. But you can't do too much, or else they'll keep pushing, and you'll be right back where you started before training ever happened. So, um, yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap it up with causes of anxiety and the rules that I like to put in place first and foremost. Um, yeah. So, any questions? Let me know. Comment, DM, call me, message me, get a hold of me one way or another, and we can talk through some stuff. Or if you do need more help, I've got my programs we can do, and just let me know.